Hello everybody, this is Richard Watson and Anglais the Easy Way. And today I'd like to reframe the concept of silence. The idea of when I can't speak, I'm doing something wrong or I'm failing. Imagine this. You're in a conversation and you hit a wall in your head. You can't find a word. And the silence feels like it lasts for 10 minutes. And you think, oh, I'm failing. Let's reframe it. Silence isn't failure, it's processing time. The only difference between a beginner and a good speaker is how they manage that empty space. Today we're going to talk about how you can reboot the conversation instead of letting it crash. So the old way of thinking was that empty space creates fear, right? You believe that if you stop talking, you've lost the game and you panic. The truth is, when you're silent, the other person is usually just waiting for your idea. But if you feel the silence is too long, you don't have to stay quiet. You can narrate the struggle. You can talk about what's happening. Here are some sentences you can use when you suddenly can't finish a sentence or you get lost in a conversation. These kind of sentences are a sign of confidence, and they're useful tools to manage these situations. So here's the first one. If you want, listen to this a few times and try to repeat them the way I do. Feel the rhythm of the way I say them. Here's the first one. I'm not sure how to say it. Let me start again. I'll say it twice for you. I'm not sure how to say it. Let me start again. Again, it's a sign of confidence that you're managing the conversation. Next one. Hang on, I'm going to try this a different way. Hang on, I'm going to try this a different way. Number 3. I can't find the exact word, but it's something like, and then give something close to it, and ask for help, basically. Next one. Give me a second. I'm just trying to organize my thoughts. Give me a second. I'm just trying to organize my thoughts. How about this one? How can I put this? It's a bit complex. When you say to put, it means to express. How can I put it means how can I express it? How can I put this? It's a bit complex. Or if you're really struggling, try this one. I've lost my train of thought. Where was I? I've lost my train of thought. Where was I? Let's have a look at a few examples. Imagine this. You want to say, the synchronization of the data isn't working. And you forget the word synchronization. So you start the sentence, you stop, and you use a reset button, like I just told you, those sentences, and you describe the shape of the word. Look. You can try this. Hang on, I'll try this a different way. The way the two systems talk to each other at the same time, it's not working. Right? You just describe the word. And this is a skill that you have to practice. If you always practice trying to get the right word and hitting a brick wall and waiting in silence, you get very good at that. If you practice just going around it and saying, the thing that we use when, the thing that is on top of the jar, etc. Use these kind of words to just describe. Let's have a look at another situation. This is for when your mind goes completely blank, especially when you're in a high-pressure situation. So someone asks, what's the budget for next year? And your mind is quiet and empty, like you're standing on a glacier in Sweden. So you use the time buyer expression. We can do this together. Look, you say, give me a second. I'm just trying to organize my thoughts. I don't have the exact number here, but I can send it to you after the meeting. Again, this kind of workaround solution is a sign of confidence. It's not a failure. And you do this in your own language all the time without thinking about it. Okay, let's do one more. This is for when you start a sentence, you get lost in the grammar and you realize you're in a dead end and you can't get out. For example, you try to use a conditioned sentence, but you get confused. Just use the right sentence and you can escape. Look, let me start again. We need more time. If we get more time, we can finish the project. So when you use these expressions, you have to use the right intonation. You have to have an intonation that kind of controls the situation, right? Your voice needs to be steady. And you have to have falling intonation at the end, not rising. It's not supposed to sound like a question or panic. You want to sound like an expert even when you're stuck. For example, let me start again. So make the voice go down on again, not up. Let me start again. It's not a question. You're telling them. The next one, how about this? Hang on. Keep the on very steady. Don't let it rise. It's not hang on. No, hang on. It's kind of an imperative, in fact. You're not giving them a choice. This week, you have a mission. When you get stuck, don't look at the floor. Look at the person. Smile and use one of those 6 sentences. You can't remember what they are? Well, go and look in the tape script or go and listen to this again. And real fluency isn't about never getting stuck. It's about knowing exactly what to do when you do get stuck, like you do in your own language. Anyway, that's enough for this week. I'll let you go. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll catch you next time.